And thank you for joining us to celebrate the divine appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Gaura Purnima Mahotsava ki! Shri Gaura Purnima Mahotsava ki! To begin our program with some words of welcome by Mother Vishaka, followed by a singing of a bhajan by the Bhaktivedanta Manor Gurukul children, followed by a recitation by His Grace Jayadev Prabhu, and also drama by the junior Bhaktivedanta players, and a class by His Grace Shaunak Rishi Prabhu. So we'd like to warmly invite our temple president, Mother Vishaka, to say a few words on the divine appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shri Gaura Purnima Mahotsava ki!
Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyabadi Paskyata Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you all so much for coming to celebrate this glorious day, Sri Gaura Purnima. We're very fortunate to be under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In former times, to understand God, to connect with God, was a very difficult, arduous process. But now Lord Chaitanya has made it very simple for us in this very difficult time. And Prabhupada has kindly introduced this process to us, that we can simply chant the holy names of Krishna and feel His presence in our lives. We can connect with Him by chanting His holy names. All ages can do it, from very young to very old. And they can actually experience some harmony with the Supreme, some harmony with the Supreme's creation, harmony with the divinity in every living entity. It's such a beautiful process that we've been blessed with. So thank you for participating in it. We're very grateful that you're here. Please stay for the whole day and many more days. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So now we'll have a bhajan sung by the Gurukul children, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda. So we encourage everyone to kindly participate, and over to them.
My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds?
Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you'll not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first.
My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful and spiritual bliss. Since you appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy.
My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda will also be kind to me.
O Svarupa Damodar, Pastoral Secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O Six Goswamis, O Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Dasa also prays for your mercy.
O Srinivasacharya, successor to the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti.
Shri Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Shri Gaura Mahotsava ki, Bhaktivedanta Manor Gurukul ki. Jai. So they are the future of our Manor Yatra, and yeah, they're very special children, and they obviously really gave their heart into this bhajan, and so can we please give 3 loud Haribols for the Bhaktivedanta Manor Gurukul? And also a loud Haribol for our musicians, of course. We have on harmonium, we have Giri Prabhu. I call him Prabhu, I mean, Prabhu. On kartals, we have Gaura Hari Prabhu. And on Mridanga, we have Devashar Prabhu. Haripur. And also on kartals, we have Madhusham Prabhu. And of course, we have Prabhuji here. What's your name? And of course, we have Jayadev Prabhu as well, who's joined the Gurukul to help with the Mridanga as well. Thank you so much. So, yes, 3 loud Haribols for the Bhaktivedanta Manor Gurukul.
We'd now like to welcome His Grace Jayadev Prabhu, and yeah, he'll be performing a special recitation on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Haribo, everyone! Are you okay? How can you not be on Gaura Purnima? Okay, so just to get you engaged a little bit more, I'm going to do the summary of Lord Chaitanya's life in kind of poetry. And we're going to do 108 lines. So you're going to say, every time that I say a line, you respond with, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Can you practice? Wow, you're so quick on picking it up. It's amazing. Okay, here we go. So let's just hear you go again.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Sachi's sun, Nadia's moon.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Jagannath's bliss, Bhumi's boon.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Krishna's gift of Radha's heart.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Kali's end, Satya's start.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Nitai's joy, Advaita's too. Gadai's life meant just for you. Naughty pranks while you're still small. Ganga's banks, she sees it all. The dog of Kali Yuga bites. Your holy name set him to flight. You thwart the dry logician's aims. By drowning then in holy names. Your lion's voice as deep as thunder. The Jnani's pride is rent asunder. You made the malechas to surrender. Also the enemy of all pretenders. Born beneath the neem tree tall. The shelter true of one and all. Your golden limbs beyond compare. The demigods just stand and stare. Ecstatically they shake and weep, disturbing your household members' sleep. You steal Gopal's food off his plate. The Brahmin, he becomes irate. Finally, to give him joy, you show him you are Sham Roy. The girls all love your naughty ways. All of Navadvip just sings your praise. The poet proud you did defeat and brought him to your lotus feet. You're doing good, you're okay. At Srivasangam, your plot was hatched to show us how to become detached. And then to chant in love sincere. The 14 worlds your name to hear. Srivas's son brought back from dead by your soft hand upon his head. He taught us we were not to fear, that your love follows ever near. The destiny is in your hands. So why should we make other plans? You made Advaita like a child. His arms and legs are dancing wild. If I go a bit nuts, it makes you chant louder. So occasionally I'm going to go a bit nuts. Amoga's heart was envious. But with your compassion, it was cured. When you returned with your new name, you start to dance and to proclaim Sri Krishna as your life and soul. To help you crush, I'm getting a bit carried away here. And love for him our only goal. Sorry. Your associates came from far and wide to help you crush cruel Kali's pride. The day he cut your wondrous hair, the Baba cried, as did all there. The Kazi tried to curb your zeal, but he again was forced to kneel. Jagai's, Madai's ways were vicious, yet you made them taste delicious. Nectar of the holy name. Never did they sin again. Dear Haridas, they did attack. You took the lashes on your back. The leper Vasudev you hold and make his body shine like gold. Sarvabhauma did recant when you revealed the true Vedant. You danced at sacred Nilachal. Where are we? Jagannath was stunned somehow. His chariot, it would not budge. You begged him, pray, return to Braj. Your love so strong, naught could restrain. The wheels began to move again. The king swept up before your cart. Eventually you gave him your heart. You even gave sweet love of God to Shivananda's little dog. The Nawab's trusted men you stole. That's the Goswamis. Sorry. The Nawab's trusted men you stole and gave them prem, life's only goal. Books on bhakti, deep as oceans, they would write in pure devotion. Commanding Sri Chaitanya's armies, introduce the 6 Goswamis! I love it when you sang louder. Okay, sorry, excuse me. Sri Narottam and Srinivas. Shyamananda Baladev Vishwanath. Jagannath then took the floor. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gaur Kishore Bhaktisiddhanta. Then ISKCON's Bhaktivedanta. Sorry, that's not loud enough. Bhaktivedanta. Yes, spreading your glories through the earth. Thank you so for taking both. The animals of Jharkhand chanted and danced at your command. The Buddhists tried to make you take poison food from off a plate. An eagle swooped. An eagle swooped and stopped his plan and smashed it on the head of the Buddhist man. Nityananda broke your rod. You didn't need it, you're God. Once a day of Lord Brahma, splendid golden avatar, comes to earth to share his bliss. And for those souls that he missed, he sends his Senapati Bhakta his military chief commander, declaring war on Maya's realm. Prabhupada upon the helm, searching continents and seas, wiping out the soul's disease, our brute forgetfulness of you. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahamahotsava ki! Well done. Thank you very much. Well done. So, thank you. The next piece is short piece, and this was written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. You remember him? And he had that dramatic conversion at the hands of Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya. He was there out of compassion for him, thinking, oh, I've got to sort this guy out and tell him really what the Vedas are all about and what life is all about. And Mahaprabhu had to sit there for 7 days listening to him. And at the end, he just politely said, sorry, this is nonsense. And Sarvabhauma was so shocked. And then the Lord wiped the floor with him, argumentative vacuum, so to speak. But at the end of it, Sarvabhauma couldn't say a thing. He was just, when someone's got you in an argument, and you're wordless. And then, so kindly, he put his hand on his heart and gave him Krishna Prem. And that was the end of all his speculation. So, shortly after, he wrote these 108 lines of Mahaprabhu's glories. So, I'm going to sing them, and this group here is going to sing Gauranga in the choruses, and then you're going to sing Gauranga after it. And then the group at the front here, you're going to sing Sri Chaitanya Nimai, okay? I hope. Anyway, so we'll get there together, yeah? Are you with me? Okay, if I can have the back end fairly loud, because I forgot my hearing aid. Just down a touch, and my voice a little louder. Namaskritya pravakshame Deva Devam Jagadgurum Nam Namastotaram Satam Chaitanasya Mahatmana Vishvambaro Chitakuru Mayamana Suvigraha Umayi Nam Shrasto Varudesho Jajatama Jagannatha Priya Sutta Pitra Bhakta Mamana Lakshmi Kanta Shati Putra Pramado Bhakta Vatsala Dvija Priya Tujabaru Vaishnav Prananayaka Dvijati Pujaka Sranta Srivasa Priya Rishvaraku. So you sing Gauranga, then you go. I'll get to you. I'll give you 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Gauranga, Gauranga. So you come straight after, yeah? Once more. 1, 2, 3. Then you go. Sri Chaitanya. Okay, relax. You got it? So 1, 2, and then the group here. Sri Chaitanya Nimai. Tapta Kanchana Gauranga Samagrivo Mahapuja Pita Basara Tapata Sadbhuja Tachudabuja Nibujas Chagarapane Chakritadma Dhamara Panchajanya Durasangi Venupana Surutuma Kamalakshas Falapito Gobalila Durajuva Nila Ratnan Dururupyo Hari Kaustubha Bhushana Srivatsalanchana Basvan Manijaglancha Lochana Tatanka Nila Sri Rudra Lila Karika Rupiya Gaura Sri Chaitanya Nimai 2, 3 Gauranga Sri Chaitanya Nimai 2, 3 Gaura Sri Chaitanya Nimai Gauranga Sri Chaitanya Nimai Swanama Goma Bhaktacha Namo Padeshadayaka Chandala Priyashura Sarvapani Tirita Vishwarupana Jasandya Vadarasi Tulasaya Nasama Karuna Gupta Atma Bhakti Pravartaka Mahanando Natondritya Gitanama Priyakavi Atipriya Shuddhi Shuddho Bhavado Bhagavat Priya Indradi Sarvalokesha Vandita Sri Parambuja Nyasi Churamani Krishna Sanyasashrama Bhava Gaurang Sri Chaitanya Nimai 2, 3 Gauranga Sri Chaitanya Nimai 2, 3 Gaurang Chaitanya 1, 2, 3 Sri Chaitanya Nimai Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Danda Jigdasta Dandaka Amul Dutta Punicha Nanda Sadbhuja Darshaka Mukunda Siddhi Dodino Vasudeva Mritabhara Ganadhar Prananayata Atiha Sharana Buddha Akanchana Priyapuna Gunagrahi Chaitandriya Ambashadashi Shumoko Madhura Priya Darsana Prataparudra Samtrata Ananda Priyokara Ananta Guna Samparna Sarvati Teka Bhava Gaurang Chaitanya Nimai 2, 3 Can't hear you Sri Chaitanya Nimai Well done Sri Chaitanya Nimai Well done Vaikuntanatha Lokesho Bhakta Bhimata Rupadrik Narayana Mahajogi Jnana Bhakti Prabhu Piyascha Vachana Prithvi Svavana Satya Vaksa Vodadesa Jananandi Sandhuham Riturupadrik Yapatet Patutaya Chaitanya Samahatmana Swadaya Pariyopita Stotram Sarvaganasham Prima Bhakti Purutasya Jayatina Chusamsaya Asaja Roga Yatopi Machita Yoga Sangha Gauranga Chaitanya. Get the timing right. 2. Unima 2, 3. Gauranga Chaitanya. Unima 2, 3. Well done. This is the last verse, and all the blessings are in this. Sarvaparada yuktupi, soparada pramachate, Pagina Purnima Santu, Chaitanya Janma Vasare, Sradaya Paraya Bhaktya, Mahastotram Japanpura, Yad Yad Prakurite Kaman, Tatare Vachualavat, Aputro Vaishnavam Putram, Lavati Natrasam Shaya, Asaja Roga Yogopi, Muchati Roga Sangha. Come on! This is the last one, so everyone sing Gauranga together. 2, 3. Hands in the air, come on! Gauranga! 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 Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for singing so nicely, and the ladies for thinking of baby Nimai like that. It was so sweet. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Can we show our appreciation for His Grace Jaydev Prabhu by loudly 3 times chanting Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. His Grace Jaydev Prabhu ki. Next, we'd like to welcome junior Bhaktivedanta players, and yes, we are very much looking forward to their drama performance. Junior Bhaktivedanta players ki.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The Bhaktivedanta Players humbly presents Vedic stories for children. The appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
"500 years ago, give or take, in a little Indian town named Navadvip, there lived an incredibly pious Brahmin, Jagannath Mishra. He was imbued with all the priestly qualities laid out in the Bhagavad Gita. Together with his wife Sachimata, he lived a simple and peaceful life, performing necessary household tasks and worshipping Lord Vishnu. They had tried for a child for a number of years, but sadly, the pregnancies ended in miscarriages. Despite this happening 8 times, they managed to keep their faith in the Lord. This faith was eventually rewarded with a child born in good health. They named him Vishwarup and brought the child up in a humble and religious manner. A little while later, Sachi Mata again fell pregnant. All auspicious signs were to be seen everywhere, but they were unable to divine just what was to come.
Sachi, I'm home. How are you, my dear wife? Have you been resting?
Yes, my husband, but it was whilst resting that I received an odd premonition. I don't know if I was sleeping or if it was a vision. It left me feeling very strange.
Tell me more, Sachi. What did you see?
I saw divine beings in the room. Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, accompanied by their consorts, offered prayerful songs. Other demigods showered my womb with sacred parijata flowers. I'm sure I smelled them and felt them on my skin, so I can't have been dreaming.
Wow, these are indeed auspicious signs. I too have met with odd occurrences.
Like what?
Well, when I went to the market this morning, I was received with much kindness from the traders and citizens. They kept giving me items without wanting anything in return. Look, these beautiful saris are for you.
People just gave them to you? Oh, they're so nice. And I love the beautiful colors.
Yes, they gave us grains too. One man even gave a bag of gold coins. I'm puzzled at the reason. The calendar doesn't mention a festival day in which to give charity to Brahmins.
Whilst Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata thought over why everyone had been so kind to them, Sachi's father, the respected astrologer Nilambar Chakravarti, came by to check on his daughter's well-being.
Oh, Father, please, come in. Please take a seat. Would you like some water?
Oh, that would be very nice, Sachi. Yeah, it's a very hot day. Yeah, it is indeed, yeah.
Sachi has just had a wondrously auspicious vision.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, that would certainly confirm the astrological charts I did for your child. Very interesting, I would say.
Nilambar Chakravarti explained the charts, which indicated that their new offspring would be no ordinary child. This produced happiness and joy.
Well, let me see what the book says here. Well, the figure of the lion is both in the child stars, and the zodiac, very rare, take a note, and auspicious occurrence. It's a very rare auspicious occurrence. An exalted junction in the sun's house. Ooh, my. I've never seen anything quite like this before. Well, it would seem that all the heavenly bodies align that the birth shall take place. With these signs, it would appear that you will have a boy. Yes, a boy. A grandson of mine. You will have a very special child in your womb, Sachi dear. I can't wait to see what becomes of the prediction. There's nothing for you to fear, child. Nothing. Even though you are overdue, still nothing to worry about. Sachi, I think you should come with me and your mother will nurse you through your last days before birth. What do you think?
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
When the time for the birth of the auspicious child came, two great pious personalities, Advaita Acharya and Haridas knew exactly who the child was. In fact, the new child was none other than the Supreme Lord Krishna, creator of the cosmos. He had been called down to this planet by Advaita Acharya, who was full of compassion for the suffering materialistic souls. The godless folks were suffering due to their forgetfulness of the Lord. After Advaita Acharya's intense praying on the banks of the Ganges, the Lord arranged to appear and promote love of God. The day of the birth was a lunar eclipse, which usually was not a good sign. But on such occasions, residents of Navadvip would go down to the Ganges and everyone would sing, Haribo! 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 Many villagers came to give support for Mother Sachi and to bestow the child with blessings. Neelambar, eager to see his new grandson, hurried all the way.
Come in, Father. I'm weary from the labor, but please come and see your new grandchild.
Oh, Sachi, my child, you have done wonderful. Yes, wonderful. I told you, there was nothing to worry about. Little late in the coming, but well worth the wait. Let me see. Oh, such rare beauty in your child, Sachi.
I know every mother says this, but he is definitely the most beautiful child.
Neelambar Prabhu, we are wondering if you would please kindly name our child in accordance with Vedic astrological rules.
Oh, me? Oh, of course. Let me see my charts. Oh, such an honor you have bestowed upon me. Well, let me see. From the calculation, he will be the maintainer of the universe. Therefore, I think we should call him Vishvambar, maintainer of the universe.
Jai Shri Krishna. Such a nice name, Vishvambar. It suits him.
Advaita Acharya arrived along with his wife Sita.
Advaita, please come in. Please come and bless our little Vishvambar.
Thank you for coming. Sita, come and see Vishvambar. He is so wonderful. Come.
Tutastu, may your child be blessed.
Oh, so cute. Could I hold him, please?
Of course, Sita. Here.
What beautiful features he has. So sweet. He looks so blissful.
We have brought some gifts in honor of your auspicious birth.
Oh, that is so kind of you. But you shouldn't have. Your association is gift enough.
Sachi, what have you named the child?
Father gave him the name Vishvambar.
Such a wonderful name. Maybe we can give him a second name?
That would be nice. Do you have any suggestions?
Sita, you can choose.
Thank you. It is an honor. Well, thinking literally, he was born under a neem tree, so we could call him Nimai. Do you like that name, Nimai?
Yes, Nimai is a fine name. Nimai, yeah, I like that. I like that very much.
I like it too. Nimai it is then. Nimai and Vishvambar.
Neelambar, have you noticed the markings on your grandson's feet?
I did see it, Advaita Prabhu. I did. Tell me, what do you see?
Look! I can see a thunderbolt, a chakra wheel, a bow, and a concha. All signs of a Mahapurusha, a great being, possibly a demigod, perhaps even the Supreme Lord himself.
Enough talking. I'm hungry. Please, everyone, come. I've arranged a feast to celebrate the birth of our child, Nimai.
Nimai born under a tree, golden sunshine bright as he. Dance, Nimai dance so joyously. Nimai's mother Sachi loves her son so sweet as he. Dance, Nimai, you can set us free. Nimai born under a tree, golden sunshine bright as he. Dance, Nimai dance so joyously. Nimai's mother Sachi loves her son so sweet as he. Dance, Nimai, you can set us free.
So here we are, Rajesh. I've been told that this child has the most amazing ornaments, decorations like gold, pearls. Look for yourself.
This is the child you're telling me about, brother?
Yes.
Oh, look at those gorgeous shiny white pearls around his neck and those golden ankle bells and armlets. Oh, they must be very valuable, huh?
We are going to be rich. Now we have to be very serious. No one is around. Now, do you have the Sandesh sweet I gave you?
What Sandesh?
You know the sweet I gave you this morning? The big yellow one?
Oh, you mean that huge, squeaky, tasty Sandesh?
Yes.
It was very nice, very tasty, and I'm very sorry.
What?
I was hungry.
Rajesh, you ate the sweet? Pagal! You drive me crazy sometimes.
You know how much I like sweets.
Chup! We will have to improvise now. Okay, keep a lookout. I will go and try and distract the child and then grab him and we run for it. Hello, little child. How are you? Nice weather we're having. Where is mommy and daddy today? You want to go for a little walk with uncle?
Mahesh, come here. Come here.
What's the matter, Rajesh?
Brother, listen, you don't understand children very much. Look, he is not responding, he is not smiling, he is suspicious, he won't want to come with us. I am better. Let me do it, and you keep a lookout. Okay?
All right, go.
All right.
Hello! Gucci, 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 go! I am your friend.
Oh, listen to this. I make you laugh, okay? I make you laugh. You see, he's laughing now.
Rajesh, you idiot, stop wasting time and grab the child.
Okay.
Just grab the child.
Little boy, we're going to go for a ride. You like rides? Let's go. Come on.
Grab the child. No, come on. Follow me.
Okay, we're coming.
This way. Come on, keep up with me.
I am trying.
Okay, we are gonna go off the main road so that no one will spot us. Look, there's a thick jungle over that way. Let us go that way. There will be no people there. Come.
Okay, boy, we're going on a jungle adventure. Let's go.
Mind the branches. Oh, this way, come on. Yes. Good. Come on, keep up, Rajesh.
I'm tired. I want to rest.
Rest? All right, just a few minutes. We don't want anyone catching us. Come on, hurry up.
Can I just put the child down for a moment? Huh?
Okay, I think it is safe here. There's no one around. Okay. Let me just see. I'm going to just climb this tree and make sure there's no one around. You take care of the child.
Okay, come on. Let's have a little sit down. Boss?
What's the matter?
You know, are you sure we're doing the right thing? It's a very, very beautiful boy. I kind of feel inside that we're doing something which is not quite right. You know, maybe I should turn over a new leaf.
Huh? Rajesh, you idiot! What has gotten into you?
Well,
you come here to grab the jewels and we don't care about the child. Now pull yourself together. Do you understand?
I do understand, and I also want to become rich to have as many Raskulas as anyone could ever dream of, but this child I think is having an effect on me. I'm not sure what is going on.
Rajesh, once we get these jewels, we will be rich. That's all you got to think. Now put him on your back. Let's go for it. Come on, before we get caught. Hurry up.
Okay,
Jaldi karo, jaldi.
Come on, let's go for another ride, all right? No, we won't hurt you.
Rajesh, come on. Stop fooling around.
Okay, brother.
Come on, we're not babysitters. We're jewel sitters. Come on, this way. We have to find our way to the Ganga. That is where our boat is. We'll take all the jewels, we'll grab them, put them in the boat, we'll row off, and we'll leave the child. Come on.
But there. Brother, we're not going to hurt the child, huh?
No, of course not. This way, come on, this way.
Mahesh, I don't think it's that way. I think the boat is that way.
Are you stupid? It's this way. I know where I parked the boat.
No, the Ganges, I swear, is that way.
Rajesh, I parked the boat. I know where it is. Don't be too clever. This way.
Okay, big brother.
Come on, follow me. Just a little bit more. Nearly there now.
Where is the river?
Huh? Good question. Where is the river? I'm pretty sure I put it. I don't know what's going on here.
I told you, this isn't the right way.
This is all so confusing. How can this be?
Oh, look at that house over there.
Oh, my Bhagavan.
Huh?
That's the house of the child. That's where the parents live.
Look over there. Isn't that the great Saint Advaita Acharya? Huh?
This is so confusing.
Huh?
We ran for miles and miles and we come to the exact same spot. Oh, no!
Brother, we've gone round in a big circle.
If we get caught, they're going to throw us in the jail. We better leave the child over here. Look, the mother is coming and she's crying and worried.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Hello!
Don't.
Namaste!
Don't look suspicious, brother.
Okay. Hello. Namaste.
Namaste. Yes.
Namaskar. We saw your child play.
Yeah.
This is my brother Rajesh.
Hello, I saw, yes, we saw the child playing by the river.
My name is Mahesh. And we thought we'd do a good deed.
Yes, because the river is very dangerous, so we brought him home where he is safe.
Such a beautiful child you have.
Yes.
Nice curly hair.
Yes.
Now he's safe with the parents.
Nice jewels. I mean,
going?
Not so
Bye. What is that? That's so kind of a... you want to invite us for something to eat?
Oh, let's go.
Some lunch? Oh, thank you. But me and my brother, we do have to go. But very kind of you. Bye.
Actually, brother, I am hungry, actually.
We have to go. Thank you. Bye. Bye, little baby. Bye, little child.
Bye,
Be a
little
good boy. Don't go wandering off now. Stay with your parents. Bye.
Bye, good boy. Beautiful boy. Bye-bye.
Please, children, stay, stay, stay. Did they do an amazing job? Give them a big hand. Haribo! The junior Bhaktivedanta players. This one's not so junior. I don't know how we got in this troop. So, what's your name?
Lakshmi.
Big hand for Lakshmi.
Kishori.
Kishori, big hand for Kishori.
Rinda.
Rinda, little Nima, big hand.
Doya.
Doya, master of many disguises. Big hand for Doya.
Giriraj.
And Advaita, it was because of Advaita we get to celebrate Purnima. Haribo!
Rasika Rani.
Rasika Rani, big hand everyone.
Vrindavani.
Vrindavani, last but not the least again, big hand for all the wonderful actors. Haribo! So if you enjoyed the play, we will be performing this play again Sunday at 9 o'clock. So if you want to tell your friends, if you want to invite Spielberg, send him out an invite. We're also going to have an adult Bhaktivedanta players, or some people call it senile Bhaktivedanta players. They're going to do Lord Chaitanya Takes Sannyas. This year, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Bhaktivedanta players. Big shout to the Bhaktivedanta players, come on! I'm not feeling a big shout, come on everyone, Haribo! So Bhaktivedanta players have been spiritually entertaining you for 40 years. Anyone been around since 40 years? Anyone hands up who's been here 40 years ago? I know you were here 40 years ago. Well done. So we have a line of many, many wonderful dramas. Put this date in your diary, 30th of May. You're going to be amazed by some amazing drama performance by the Bhaktivedanta players, the junior Bhaktivedanta players. We have an array of many, many festivals. We have a little bit of a poster over here. If you want to find out more about the plays, if you want to be involved, please come and see Doya. Doya is our official secretary. Give a big shout to Doya. Thank you very much. Haribo! Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki!
Junior Bhaktivedanta players ki! Next, we'd like to welcome on stage His Grace Shona Krishi Prabhu, who will be giving this morning's class.
Thank you very much. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Pijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai
Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai. Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gaura Premanande. So I rose this morning and took my bath and did my puja for my little boys and got into the car feeling very proud of myself. Everything was going well. Halfway down, I realized I left the notes for my class at home. And the theme of the class was going to be surrender. So here I am, being forced to surrender. So Krishna is very kind. And maybe unusually for the day that it is, Sri Gaura Purnima, the text that I've chosen to focus on is the Bhagavad Gita, 1866, a text about surrender. And surrender is a word that we all know. We all maybe react to differently. It's a word that kind of stirs a little emotion because it's something you have to do something about. It's not a pedestrian word. It's not a philosophical concept. It's actually something that's dynamic in our lives. When we look at the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we see so many instances of surrender where he shows us what surrender means and how to surrender. His purpose was to come, and he had his internal purpose, but for us, he was to show us what it meant to be a devotee. And our struggle maybe as a devotee is to be engaged in Krishna's service, which is a wonderful struggle, and to find what that service is in our life. But more profoundly, and maybe more meaningfully for Lord Chaitanya, his example to us, is not what to do, but how to do it. And that's the mood of Srimati Radharani. She's all about how to serve Krishna, the attitude that we take when we want to serve Krishna. And we look at the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and we see in his example his actions, how he preaches, how he teaches, how he develops relationships with others, how he acts in the world. And it's all giving us example. And in every case, he's doing it as a surrender to Krishna. Even when he took sannyas, everyone was annoyed with him. All his friends. No one liked the idea that he took sannyas. Even in taking sannyas, he didn't take a sannyas name. He took the name Chaitanya. Chaitanya is the name given to a brahmachari before he takes sannyas. He never fulfilled it, which is quite a humble thing to do. So his whole example to us throughout, he goes, we see the wonderful, really gorgeous altar today. I hope we've all had the opportunity for darshan. The deities look absolutely beautiful. And then they're in this Jharkhand forest setting. So when Lord Chaitanya set out to go to Vrindavan, all he took with him for protection was the mantra, Krishna, 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 Pahimam, Rakshimam, maintain me, protect me. That was his only protection. That was his only tool that he took. When we go on a journey, we organize travel insurance and various other things, and we have a bag full of stuff, and it's all there, and there's insect repellent and whatever we have. We make provision, and that's the responsible thing to do. But Lord Chaitanya thought the responsible thing to do was to depend on Krishna. That's quite an example to give, and we think, well, I mean, he was God himself. He was a manifestation of Krishna and Radha, and he was a sannyasi, so it's not up to us. But that's why I've chosen 1866, because
that's a bogus argument on our part. So the 1866, as we all know, Sarvadhamam Prityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarve Papebhyo Moksha Ishami Masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion, dharma, and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. And do not fear is also the word is also translated as do not grieve. And it's interesting that when we're asked to surrender, we're fearful that we're doing the right thing, but also to some degree we're grieving that we're not able to do the things that we're used to doing. We're leaving something behind. So there's an element of grieving as well. Do not grieve. Don't lament the fact that you're being asked to surrender. Because we're attached to doing certain things that give us pleasure. And that's perfectly understandable and normal, not an issue at all. But then Krishna gives us an invitation to do something else, which means that thing won't be done. Simply following ahimsa, not harming others. Well, you're going to end up becoming a vegetarian. That's going to curtail your life, curtail how you act in the world, what you can eat in a restaurant, how you can, go out to have a meal with others. You're going to be a bit of an awkward customer. And it's a lifestyle change. And Krishna is going to ask us to do more and more lifestyle changes until we're pointing in the right direction. And in the purport here, it's interesting how if we read this text and we look at Sankaracharya's commentary, how many people have read Sankaracharya's commentary? Am I talking to the wrong audience? But if you do read Sankaracharya's commentary, it's very interesting how he only really talks about knowledge. That this is about knowledge. The surrender is to knowledge over action. And that's his only interpretation of the text. And Ramanujacharya lifts it above knowledge and says, no, this is about bhakti, which is kind of the obvious implication. And then if we look at Srila Prabhupada, he says, yes, anything that does not lead to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness should be avoided. One should be confident that in all circumstances, Krishna will protect him from all difficulties. There is no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. One should always think himself helpless and should consider Krishna the only basis for his progress in life. As soon as one seriously engages himself in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness, at once he becomes freed from all contamination of material nature. And then he goes on to say, and this I think is interesting because we just said give up all dharma. There are different processes of religion and purificatory processes by cultivation of knowledge, meditation, in the mystic yoga system, etc. So he's referencing Sankaracharya here and others, Patanjali and others. But one who surrenders unto Krishna does not have to execute so many methods. That simple surrender will save him from unnecessary wasting time. One can thus make all progress at once and be freed from all sinful reactions. So it's interesting, Prabhupada isn't denigrating these other processes, these other religions. These other religions are within the Indian context. And Prabhupada didn't denigrate other religions outside the Indian context, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, etc. So he's saying, yes, they're there. And if you don't want to surrender, then follow those. And in the Bhagavatam it says, if you don't surrender, then you have to follow Dharma. You have to go through a process of discipline, of keeping yourself together. That's the beginning of the surrender process. But Prabhupada is making the point here that there's no need of thinking how one should keep the body and soul together. Krishna will see to that. Well, that's a very difficult surrender. I remember as a child, I couldn't swim, and my father was in the swimming pool, and he put his arms out and he said, "Jump, I'll catch you." And I didn't jump because I didn't trust him, because he was Irish, and Irish people are always playing practical jokes, and he was definitely going to drop me. But the fact is, we have to trust. We can't surrender otherwise. There has to be trust there. There has to be some faith. Prabhupada discusses in the Gita that the stages of development of faith. We meet some devotee, we have some confidence in what we've heard, we like the person. That confidence develops into faith because we see that person being consistent. And that faith develops into trust. It's much more dynamic, it's nishta. The words in Sanskrit for faith, there are 17 words that I've heard of. We use shraddha, which means where you place your heart, but nishta means fixed. These are different words for different stages of development of faith. So when we get to this stage of trust, then we can jump. Then we feel emboldened. But it's very difficult to surrender otherwise. It's unreasonable to expect surrender otherwise. It's unreasonable to expect it of ourselves. And we beat ourselves up over these things, that I'm not surrendered, I'm not chanting 24 hours a day, and that. But the fact is we have to be clear about our expectations and about who we are and our capacity. And trust is dependent on relationship. We have to have a relationship with the Lord. So who is Krishna becomes a primary question. How can I find out about Krishna? Who is Krishna in my life? How does Krishna manifest in England in the 21st century? In the grey, cold, miserable conditions that we have. So just a week ago, I was in Vrindavan, and you can understand the Bhagavatam when you're actually in Vrindavan with that weather, and that dust of Vrindavan is actually dust, and you can understand it better. You come here and it's freezing cold and shivery, and you're walking around in a dhoti, and your legs are a bit colder than you would have expected from looking at the pictures in the Bhagavatam. So we're in a different circumstance. And who is Krishna in this circumstance? Who is Krishna in the circumstance of our lives? And Lord Chaitanya showed us in the circumstance of his life who Krishna was. And we think, oh no, but he lived in the golden age. You know, this was a wonderful Krishna conscious time with Krishna conscious people. But that's not what we see when Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu go and preach, where they're actually turned away from the door, where people aren't interested. It's a yagya to go and preach in any age, in any circumstance, where Jagai and Madai actually injure them. So how many of us have been injured in our circumstance? So that circumstance wasn't in any way perfect, it was still the material context. Lord Chaitanya was born into that context. When he was Nimai Pandit, he was greatly praised because Navadvip was the center of Nyaya philosophy, and he was a Nyaya philosopher, and he sounded good. Then when he came back from his initiation as an ecstatic, people lost interest, and they turned against him, and he left. It's only when he came back later that people lauded him again. But at that stage, he was turned away from his home place. That's the actual history. You see that in Vrindavan Das Thakur and Chaitanya Bhagavat and different works, in Krishnadas Kaviraj. So Lord Chaitanya lived the same life that we live in the material world. When you take the spiritual life, people aren't interested. People reject you. They're not very supportive. You're trying your best to help them understand, but if they don't have the same experience, they can't understand. So you've made a choice to surrender to Krishna, but it just seems all very unreasonable from a material point of view. It seems very improbable, because unless someone has that trust, it doesn't make any sense. You can see a relationship between a husband and a wife, and you're trying to figure out how in God's name does this relationship work? These two people like chalk and cheese, always arguing with each other. But the basis of the whole thing is a tremendous affection and a real respect, because there's trust in the relationship. And it may look from a material point of view like this or that, but if there's trust, any relationship can work. As soon as trust breaks down among children and parents, around about 12 to 14, then the children are looking at the parents, they're reading something on TikTok, they're looking at the parents and say, they don't understand this. So they start to lose trust. They're trying to find their own way in the world. They have to become their own people. How devastating it is for relationships when trust breaks down. So surrender is based on that. And if we have trust, then we can definitely think ourselves helpless, because we trust Krishna will help, that he will protect us from all difficulties. Prabhupada says in a purport in the first canto, he says, any difficulty in the life of a devotee is directly the mercy of the Lord. It's directly the mercy of the Lord. He's helping. And then we have to trust that. Otherwise, we just see difficulties as a nuisance. And we try and find out who's responsible for it. Krishna, he's a nuisance as well. So what does surrender mean in that context? And how do we engage in devotional service in that context? And that's, how do we serve? What's the mood of service? What's the quality of being a servant that can surrender? How do we prepare ourselves for that relationship? And that hint is given by Lord Chaitanya himself in the text, Trinada Pisa Nichina Tarodeva Sahishnana Amanida Madanina Kirtaniya Sadahari. So Amanida means to give all respect to others, then to expect none for ourselves. Amanitwa means humility. It means not being anxious to be praised by others, not looking for praise, not looking for credit. Even if it's your due, you don't ask for it. You don't remind people of all the wonderful things you've done that you should be praised for. So Lord Chaitanya gave us this verse, and Krishnadas Kaviraj says that this verse we should put around our neck. Of all the verses, he singled out this one. This is the mood of the Vaishnava. This is the person that we have to become. And this person is a very difficult person to become, because humility is like a jewel. It's very difficult to describe. It's very difficult to define. As soon as I realize I've done something humble, I'm immediately not humble anymore. Because I'm patting myself on the back. Oh, I did a humble thing. Oh, oops. So it's very subtle. It's like a fragrance. And when you meet someone who's humble, you get that scent, and it strikes us. It's powerful. When we meet someone like that, we don't meet people who are humble. When we meet someone who's humble, it makes a big impression on our heart. And that's why a moment's association with a sadhu can transform our life. Just a moment of meeting someone who has that depth of quality. Because that person has the capacity to surrender. Humility gives us the capacity to surrender. It's one of the 6 symptoms of surrender. Humility is based on honesty. Unless we're honest with ourselves, we can't be humble. We can't see ourselves for who we are. The poet Burns, Scottish poet, said, I pray to God the power to give us to see ourselves as others see us. Because others can give us good feedback. But we have to be able to see ourselves, who we are ourselves. And we have to understand our capacity and our lack of capacity. And that's difficult to face. When we look at this verse, to be ready to offer all respect to others sounds easy to do, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult not to want to get the credit, not to want to get a percentage of the credit, not to do some negotiation about getting the credit. It's very difficult just to give it to someone. It's very difficult not to want it for ourselves or to give it to others, to be more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. And this is the mood by which we can chant the holy name. This is the mindset by which we can serve Krishna. That's what it means. This is the attitude of a servant. This is the attitude of someone who has the capacity to surrender to Krishna. Because if we don't realize that we don't have to think about keeping the body and soul together, that Krishna will take care of that, it's very difficult for us to commit ourselves to devotional service. It's very difficult because we'll have to do a lot of other things as well. And we'll have to have a good job, we'll have to have a good pension plan, we'll have to have a mortgage because there's a need for a house and it needs to be secure for the family, etc. These are all absolute necessities in a circumstance where Krishna isn't the one taking care of us. If we allow Krishna to take care of us, then what else could happen? If we allow Krishna to take care of us, what capacity do I have to serve? So, Krishna is either God or he's not God. And we have to come to terms with that. We have to understand what Krishna's capacity is and what he's offering us. And that's what he's offering with this verse. He's saying, don't worry about all the religious processes. In the context of the Gita, he's given Arjuna so many choices. He's told him, look, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. And they're all good things. Like Prabhupada is saying, yes, all these processes are there. But this process of surrender means that you've got to the point. And Krishna is saying that to Arjuna. He's saying, Sarva Dhamma, all the dharmas, Parityajya, just surrender them. I'll take care of you. You don't have to fear about papa, you don't have to fear about sin, transgression. You don't have to grieve for what you're giving up in life and how your life is going to change, because it'll only be better. It'll be real, finally. And so this is a completely different way of seeing the world, transformative. So in the beginning of Krishna's teaching, this is the very end of Krishna's teaching in the Gita. In the beginning, he says, Natu evaham jatuna samna tvam nimejanadipa. He says, you, all these kings, we all existed, we eternally, no beginning, no end. Vedanta philosophy, very, very clear, transformative way of looking at the world. But this, the very last teaching, is transformative in a completely different way, in a spiritual way. This isn't philosophy. This is about Arjuna as a person and how he acts in the world as a person and his capacity to have a personal relationship with anyone, what to speak of Krishna. And Krishna is inviting him into this personal relationship. And he's given him choice. He says, you choose what to do. But he's opened up the door for this relationship. And in the previous verse, he says, because you're my very dear friend, I'm telling you the most confidential knowledge of all. Now, throughout the Gita, he's been saying, this is the king of knowledge, Raja Vidya. He says, this is confidential knowledge. This is more confidential knowledge. This is very confidential. Now he's saying, now we're at the point. Krishna has opened himself up as a person to Arjuna. In the 4th chapter, he says, Bhaktosi me sakachati, because you're my devotee and my friend. And he says that again at the end. He says, I'm telling you this because you're my friend. And priyosti me, because of my love for you. So it's not just two chaps on a chariot about to have a battle. Now it's become a very intimate relationship that Krishna has opened up to Arjuna. And Arjuna isn't passive in this dialogue. This isn't actual conversation. Arjuna asks 7 questions. And he's engaging with Krishna. He's not just accepting everything he's saying. He's, oh, what about this? Oh, what about this? And he specifically says twice. He says, is it by gyan or is it by knowledge? And this is Krishna's opportunity to smash those jnanis and, set the record straight. And what does Krishna say? He says this by both. It's just that the bhakti path is the clearer path. And it's the path I want you to take. So Krishna is very broad-minded in this. And he leaves the decision to Arjuna, so it's not dogmatic. He's not ordering him, because Arjuna has choice. He gives him his choice. He makes it important for him to choose. He doesn't come in as God and say, here's the solution, just do it. I'm God, follow. No, he gives him all kinds of choices. And the first choice he gives him is, if you don't fight, people will laugh at you, because you're a warrior. Warriors have to fight. That's a really stupid choice. Completely materialistic. But it is a choice, so Krishna gives it to him. I think I've given the example before of, if I've personally never had children, but I always thought if I had a female child, it would be the worst thing in the world, because as she grows older, I know how young men think. So any young man I'd have my shotgun ready. Wouldn't have a chance. But I thought, she comes and she says she's going out for the night with her friends for the first time. How do you respond to that? So you just shut down. You say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I want you to ring at 10 o'clock, and then I want you to ring at 12 o'clock, and then you hold. That's generally how I would react. But that's absolutely not how Krishna teaches in the Gita, how he shows us how to teach and how to preach. If Krishna was there, he would say to her, when you go to this party, there will be sex and drugs and rock and roll on offer. What do you think about drugs? And have a conversation with her about drugs. And what do you think about sex? And have a conversation with her about the implications and the responsibilities. And what do you think about this and that and alcohol? So then when she goes to the party, someone comes, inevitably, and says, take this pill. It's really good, it's really good, it's really good. What's in it? No, it doesn't matter, it's really good, it's really good, it's really good. And she can say, no, I want to know what's in it. Why? Because she's thought about it. She's spoken about it. She was asked her own opinion about it. Now she has an opinion about it. You've given her choice. Given her the capacity to think for herself. That's what Krishna does exactly to Arjuna. He gives him all the choices on offer, no matter how stupid they are, because they are the choices. And then he says, you choose. He gives him the capacity to surrender, all the tools he needs to surrender. That's what the Gita is telling us. The Krishna is giving us such wonderful example of how to teach, how to preach, how to negotiate, how to communicate, how to counsel. It's all in here. It's a brilliant example. And Lord Chaitanya does exactly the same. How many people does Lord Chaitanya actually preach to? He preaches to people by doing Harinam liberally all over the place. But how many people does he sit down and have a conversation with in terms of talking about philosophy and Krishna? And it's very few. Prakashananda Saraswati, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a few people in South India. Very few. He only talks to people who have the capacity to understand what he's talking about. And most people don't. They're not really interested. So he gives them the Harinam, and they have that experience. They experience it for themselves. That's exactly what they need. And in all the cases where he preaches to people, look at the humility of his position. With Prakashananda Saraswati, he doesn't even enter the room. He stays where they wash their feet until he gets invited into the room. With Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he sits and listens to him for days and days, just talking about Advaita and philosophy. Sarvabhauma is trying to help him, trying to help this young sannyasi who's obviously got the wrong end of the stick. So he's trying to educate him. And after days and days of listening, then Sarvabhauma says, what do you think? It means Sarvabhauma's run out of things to say. Then Lord Chaitanya speaks. That's the perfect time to speak, because then Sarvabhauma is actually listening. Do we preach like that? If we're talking to someone and they come out with, well, isn't it about oneness? Immediately, within a fraction of a second, we go, no, it's not about oneness. That's a stupid idea. Where'd you get that idea? Get that out of your head immediately. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill me. I don't even want to hear it. Oh, go away. Get out of the temple. Wow. Where's the humility? What happened to us? Did we not read the Gita? Did we not understand what Krishna is doing? Do we not understand from Lord Chaitanya's life how a devotee acts? How to serve? The broad-minded nature of that endeavor? The depth with which it's executed? The humility? Humility being, as I say, a principal element of surrender. Without honesty and humility, we can't understand our position in the world and how truly helpless we are. So we get the mortgage, the overdraft, the life insurance, and then the pension fund collapses, etc. There is no security in this world, we know that. Lord Chaitanya and Krishna and the Gita, they're trying to help. He's giving us this example of how to surrender, how to understand that Krishna will help us, as Prabhupada says. We have to have that trust that Krishna will help us. He will catch us. We have to jump into spiritual life and actually practice it very deeply and depend on Krishna very completely. And then we can see Krishna in our lives. Then the reciprocation really begins. And that's that's what's in front of us. That's what we can grasp onto. And we can begin to experience love in our life. And we may think, well, why doesn't Krishna show his love for us first, and then we can trust it? The fact is, Krishna is showing his love for us. Every minute of every day, Krishna loves us more than we can love him. He loves us unconditionally. We have all kinds of conditions for our love for Krishna. He has to be nice to us. He has to give us mercy. He has to be the kind of God we think God should be. Krishna will accept us as we are, complete and utter morons in most cases. And he loves us anyway, because he knows that's not who we really are. That's just who we think we are. He wants to help us understand who we are so that we can really do something. We can really do some service. And service is how we express love. He's serving us in every way. The fact that the sun is shining is his service to us. The fact that we have food on the table is the service to us. I was in the temple room, and a devotee was standing in front of me with a box with two very gorgeous looking cupcakes with cream tops and drizzle on them and some other sweets. And he was saying, I said, so how are you? He says, oh, life is difficult sometimes, isn't it? And I was looking at him standing there with, what's difficult? What's difficult in your life? So we have all kinds of conceptions about what life is. Krishna is giving us absolutely everything we need. Everything we need materially and everything we need spiritually, and we cherry pick. We take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, as if we're some privileged kid who just entitled. We have no idea what surrender means. We have no idea what love means. And Lord Chaitanya is inviting us into a relationship of love through the chanting of the holy name. That we can love Krishna now. That process can start any time. We just have to give ourselves to it. So that's what's on offer, and this day reminds us that that's on offer. And this morning it was. Wasn't it this morning that there was the eclipse of the moon? The full eclipse of the moon, which is the only time since Lord Chaitanya was born that astrological connection came again. So this is the first time since Lord Chaitanya was born we had the same eclipse that happened on the day of his birth. So on this very auspicious day is a day to commit ourselves to learning how to trust, because that's the prerequisite to love. And surrender comes automatically with trust. Jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Hari Hari. Does anyone have any questions or answers? Or long-winded commentaries?
Thank you.
You can elaborate.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like Dhruva Maharaj, I've heard that he surrendered to the process, what Narad Muni gave him, but he also had a different motive, like as a motive for the kingdom. So is that considered surrendered or not? I thought surrendered meant with the right motive, but then I also heard that he did surrender. He surrendered to the process. So I'm just trying to get an understanding of what we mean by surrender. Thank you.
Well, surrender is like anything in life. It's gradual. It's just we start off with a little inkling of good motivation in a sea of material desire. But that little inkling has shone a light on the material desire. So we end up becoming a bit dissatisfied with ourselves, just a little bit. And as we start a practice of spiritual life, that dissatisfaction grows with the material. And we start to become a little bit more satisfied with the spiritual. So it's a gradual process, and it takes the time it takes for all of us. As the Muchikunda story goes, that you can take the devotional service in an instant. You can just get it and just be it. But that's just extraordinary. That's not how most of us experience spiritual life. For most of us, it's a gradual process, and it's incremental. And I can just say in my life, I'm quite shocked about where I am in spiritual life, that I even have a spiritual life. I remember being 6 months in the movement. I was on the street giving out books, and I just realized I'm 6 months in the movement, and I was just so surprised that I was still here. I just didn't think I'd last 6 months, and I was just like, wow, I'm 6 months. Now I'm 45 or 46 years in the movement, and I'm still surprised, But I'm very pleasantly surprised. There's a real satisfaction in my heart that I've changed. I'm not the person I was. I've actually become a better person, and there's so much more room for improvement, without doubt. But I can see it in myself, and I've no other explanation than the practice of devotional service. And my practice of devotional service has been so deficient in so many ways. But I haven't stopped. And I think that's, for a lot of people here, looking at Kishore there, years and years and years later, and there's another one. Years and years and years later, still here. Still get up, dress up, and show up. And that's enough, because that means that you're deadly serious. And everything around that could be a total mess. We could be screwed up emotionally because of our parents. I don't even know which parents. It's so complicated. There's so many ways that materially we're not with the program, and that we just got a little hint that this could be the right thing, and we develop it, and then we change as people, we transform as people. And we have something to offer the world, just by that example. These older devotees, people who've been around for a while, are just living examples that this process actually works. So it's incremental. I would never, we expect perfection. We expect too much too soon. We expect too much of ourselves. And we just have to be a little gentler with ourselves in understanding that this is going to take time. If I look at me, okay, oh God. We join the temple, we shave our heads. I remember I shaved my head, I wore saffron robes. The next morning I looked in the mirror and I hadn't changed. Very disappointed. Expecting to become a pure devotee overnight.
And that's just the mode of passion. It's just kind of ridiculous. We actually have to wait until the process takes up, and it's a relationship with Krishna. So I do all kinds of stuff, and I'm expecting a response, a return on my investment, and Krishna is not transactional. It's not business for him. He'll respond when he wants to respond, and we have to wait and learn patience, another symptom of surrender. So it takes the time it takes. Don't worry about it. The motivation is that you get up, dress up, and show up. You're there for service every day. And we do our little bit. And one day, it becomes a big bit. I walked into the temple room, and I had just arrived in the manor, paid my obeisances, stood up, and then a broom whisked past me of a young devotee sweeping the temple room. And he stopped and he said, "Oh, Shanikarishi Prabhu." And I looked at him and I recognized his face, but I didn't know from where. And he used to come to, he was a student at Oxford University, and he used to come to the Gita classes that we did. And I just think, what a wonderful welcome. Oh, you've done some good in the world. Why? We give Gita classes since, nearly the last 20 years, just every Tuesday. Do it for the students, and you have no idea what effect it's having. And then all of a sudden this devotee pops his face up in his dhoti and kurta manifestation, and it's like, oh, okay. So all the different things that went to help him make the decision to join the ashram, this is only one small part, but we all have a small part to play. And it's wonderfully encouraging to know what that small part is. I think I've told the story about Akandati, how he joined. There was a devotee, Rahamurti, in Ireland, and he was in Dublin, and he decided one Sunday to go to Belfast to give out books. Now, in those days, Belfast, very Protestant place, was totally shut down on a Sunday. Nothing was open. Everything was dead. Rahamurti didn't realize that because he's a devotee. He's disconnected from the material world. So he decided to go up to Belfast. Got a bus up to Belfast, got out and started walking around, and everything was just dead. So he walked up the Lisburn Road, which is about 5 miles long, and eventually he just turned into a cul-de-sac, and he thought, I'll just knock on a door. So he knocked on a door, and this young chap opened the door, and he gave him a book and preached to him and all that kind of stuff, and then went away and got the bus and went back home. And when he got down to Dublin, he said, "What happened?" He said, "I gave out a book." "Oh, for God's sake, what a waste of time, you're stupid. What kind of a guy are you? What kind of a devotee?" And blah, 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 blah. But the person he gave it to was Akandati. And that's how Akandati became a devotee. Krishna sent someone from Dublin to Belfast with a book to personally deliver it. Now, of course, no one in our beloved ISKCON saw that. They just saw a total failure. Waste of a day. We don't know, we have no idea what's going on and how Krishna is working and how he's personally inviting us to engage in devotional service regularly. This just doesn't happen once in our life. This happens all the time. And if we think about it, think about our lives, we'll remember those times. They're the cherished times of love with Krishna. That's our relationship with Krishna. The times that it just became obvious that this is Krishna in my life. And we have to meditate on those days, those moments, those hours, those relationships, the Sangha we were in at that time, because that was all Krishna's arrangement and all his love for us. And we were asking for it over here, we were getting the result over here. We wanted the result tomorrow, we got the result 3 years from then, but when it came, it was obvious. So Krishna manifests with us like that. Yep. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for very beautiful class and explaining very nicely about faith, trust. Without trust and faith, we cannot surrender. That is very beautiful point. And my question is on the other aspect, like you said, Tranadapi Sunichena. So it's about Tranadapi. If you are humble, if you try to be humble, you are being humble with everyone. And when you are humble with everyone, people lose trust in you. Sometimes they say, how can you be so humble? This is practical problem. Sometimes some people you meet in life, maybe they are not humble, but when you politely speak to them, you try to be humble, they suspect, they don't trust you. That is it. I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, that's just life. I remember when there was a Bhakta on the Bhakta program with me, and he was extremely humble. And the Bhakta leader one day said to him, "You're so humble, you make me sick." Because it was just too humble. It was artificial. Real humility isn't necessarily meek. Arjuna's humility in fighting was not meek. To fight, you have to be angry. So he was using anger in service in his humility. So we have to actually understand what humility really is. That humility, to be humble, takes more courage than to be lacking humility, to be arrogant, to be aggressive. To be humble takes real courage, real strength. It's a real solid principle in life. And in life, it doesn't matter what position you take, you're going to get opposition from someone who just doesn't get it, or doesn't understand it, or objects against it. And that is just life. So I was just talking to the pujaris and just praising them for the beautiful altar, and some of them were saying, yeah, people were criticizing about this and criticizing about that. And there's nothing you can do that people aren't going to have an opinion about that's going to sound like criticism. It's just their opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's a free world. And everyone has their choices to make. So in all humility, you understand exactly that point. And they're entitled to their opinion, and it could be wrong and you could be right, but this is how you've been led and this is what you've done. Krishna, Krishna. Best you can do on the day. Tomorrow you can start again. That's humility. So we don't get attached to our opinion. Things change, circumstances change, so our choices are going to change. But our principles don't change. So we have to be clear about what our principles are. And the difficulty in life generally is a lot of people aren't clear about their principles. They kind of float from one thing to the other. They're led by the nose from one thing to the other, by politicians, by advertising agents, by football managers or whoever. So to have clear principles in life, to have a clear identity as to who we are, and we are eternal servants of Krishna. And it's not any Krishna, it's Krishna in Vrindavan. We're eternal servants of Krishna in Vrindavan. That's who we are. Therefore, everything we do in life is connected with that. And that's humility. That's understanding honestly who we are, admitting honestly who we are. Now, it's a bit difficult to admit it. Someone comes up and says, hey, my name is George Saunders. What's your name? I am an eternal servant of Krishna. Then you begin to sound like an idiot. So you say, I'm Shanika Rishi Das, or whatever other name you're going to give for the moment. But inside in ourselves, we have to know who we are. So that when that person says, let's go out for a pint, you say, no, I don't go out for pints. And you know, we make all kinds of compromises in life, and that's fine. That's just how you negotiate the world. But when it comes to our principles, we don't compromise. And that's when we have to know who we are. So I'm a servant of Krishna, therefore there are certain things I won't do because Krishna will not be pleased. And that's showing love. That's acting in love, even if we don't feel ecstatically loving, butterflies in the stomach, and we don't hear music in the trees and all those other things that go with love. But that's actually love. that you're doing it for Krishna because it will please Krishna. It's not about me. I don't even feel good about it. I know that I'm going to displease this person and all that kind of stuff, but you'll do it anyway. That's love, and that's the fruit of humility. So humility is just being honest with ourselves. Really, that's the essence of it, and that's not necessarily meek. That can lead to exhibition of real strength. And in every case, humility leads to an exhibition of strength and courage. It takes a lot of courage to be actually humble. A lot more than to be aggressive. That's just lashing out. A lot more than being arrogant. Arrogant is such a stupid position to take. And we've all taken it, and we'll take it again and exhibit to ourselves again how stupid we can be. But we have to dispense with those things as time goes on, understand that they're just not useful in life and in relationships.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Last one.
I got some service. I'm the carrier.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much for very inspiring class. I would like to ask to the point, many times Srila Prabhupada is explaining how Krishna gave these instructions, Sarva Dharma Paritaja, and nobody was surrendering, so therefore Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to come. But then ultimately also Lord Chaitanya, he asked to surrender to Krishna. So what is the advancement? I find like a little maybe connection also that you were explaining that Lord Krishna, he first explained the whole philosophy of dealings in this material world. Then he said, you consider, but this is my opinion. So I'm trying to understand this point that nobody was surrendering because Krishna was asking, and then if you can say something more.
Yeah. Well, that's the particular mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Krishna asks us to surrender, and we've just discussed how difficult it is to develop that trust, but Lord Chaitanya gives us a basis of trust. He invites us into a relationship with him. And it's a personal relationship. And he gives us the hint of how we can act as a devotee. We can be the devotee. He shows us. He doesn't just ask us to surrender. He shows us what it looks like. And then he says, this is what you can do. And you can chant, you can eat prasadam, you can associate with devotees. So the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is considered you read the Gita, you read the Bhagavatam, and then you read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now, of course, like a professor in Oxford, Professor Ward, when I met him the first time, I brought him a full set of Bhagavatams. And he read the full set of Bhagavatams in 8 months, which is more than most devotees get around to doing. But he said to me, I came back to him, I was in contact with him regularly, and I said, did you ever read those books? He said, yes, I did. Very good, very nice. I said, really? And he said, there was one thing though. It said as I was reading the first book that you shouldn't jump to the 10th book. He said, but I must admit, based on that, I jumped to the 10th book. So we all do that. So we all dip into the Chaitanya. It was one of the first books I dipped into was Chaitanya Charitamrita. But the reason why it's so special is it's all about relationships with devotees. And it's just those relationships are so personal, they're so full of feeling that they're considered just revered. It's just you dip in kind of, it's like now you're getting to the heart of the issue. The Bhagavatam is philosophy. It's really dense until you get to Krishna's pastimes. It's really dense stuff. So you have to kind of wade through it, But Chaitanya Charitamrita is just about people who love each other and joke with each other. And, Advaita Acharya and Nityananda are always poking fun at each other. And when you read it, you think, well, these guys don't like each other. But no, that's a symptom of people who really get on with each other. They rag each other. That's in every relationship. We see that this is real relationships in spiritual life. That this is what it's all about. And in that context, it's much easier to surrender. So when I meet, Krishna Dharma, what was it? I was giving a class in Germany one time and Krishna Dharma was there. And after the class, people came up and said, thank you very much, it was a lovely class and everything. And Krishna Dharma comes up and says, you're not fooling anyone. And that's the nature of the relationship. Now you can say, oh, that's offensive, Prabhu. But no, it's not. Prabhupada was Bhagavat. Everyone knows Bhagavat, the American devotee. He was very portly. And he was temple president in Bury Place at one time here in London. And Prabhupada referred to him as bag of fat. You can say that's offensive, Prabhu. But no, it's a joke among devotees. Prabhupada's son was crawling up him one time, and Prabhupada was sitting with some devotees, and they were discussing about Krishna, I'm sure. And then one of the devotees said to his son, oh, you shouldn't be putting your feet on your father's a Vaishnava. And his son just looked at him and said, he's my father. Because that's their relationship. And Prabhupada told that story to make the point, that it's about relationship and an intimacy, and to be a bit relaxed about it rather than have to surrender. That no, there's a process of surrender, and it's about being a person and having personal relationships and going through the difficulties with those people and being able to share your heart and share your mind honestly, and not coming into the temple, shaving your head and pretending you're a pure devotee because you think that's what everyone expects. So we walk into the temple, we understand this much, and we're asked to accept this much. And we just take all this stuff on, and we walk around as if we understand what we're talking about. So we have to have someone that we can talk to and say, is this for real? So one of the first questions I had in the first week in the temple, we were sitting down eating in the evening, we'd all sit down, and a devotee would sit and read the Krishna book, and we'd have hot milk and an apple. Now, I must say, hot milk and an apple Ayurvedically is a terrible combination, but that was then, you know. So he was reading the Krishna book, and I'd never read the Krishna book. I joined because the idea of love of God was a Christian idea. I understood it. I was searching after it. And the philosophy of you're not the body was like fascinating. These two things went together. And I was reading about this little blue boy. And I put my hand up and I said, so is it that we have to accept that God is a little blue child? I mean, it's a relevant question, you know. And I was just had to ask a question. And the devotee looked at me. I remember the devotee, Madhavi is his name, he's in South Africa. He looked at me and he put his head to one side and he said, God can be whoever he wants to be. It was such a simple answer, but it was so perfect. And it really put me straight about who I am in relation to God. God can be blue, he can be brown, he can be white, he can be old, thin, fat. And you suddenly get it. But you have to be able to ask the question. And I've seen people ask intelligent questions getting shut down. And that's really bad for us. We have to, oh, that's a sign from God. We have to stop. We have to be able to understand that we need relationship and we need people to help us. So therefore, we need to be able to ask our simple, strangled questions, our pathetic questions, because they're all important, because that's where we're at. And for the others in the room, for me asking, are we supposed to understand God's a blue boy? They were kind of going, you know, you can't ask that question. Well, I couldn't not ask the question because I was struggling. So we all have to be able to ask our questions, no matter how stupid we think they are. They're not stupid, they're important. They're what's going to take us to the next level. With that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Gaura Purnima ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande.
His Grace Shona Krishi Prabhu ki. So before we conclude the program, Divyanam Prabhu will mention something about the Be a Gardener campaign for distributing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita sets.
Thank you, Sonakarishi Prabhu. Beautiful class. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, I'll just take 5 to 10 minutes of yours. Before I share what's happening with Be a Gardener, I wanted to invite you all this morning at 11 o'clock. We are in Watford Town Centre doing Harinam and book distribution.
So if you are available and wanting to really celebrate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day in the grand style, then please join us for the Harinam and book distribution. Even if you haven't done book distribution before, we have many devotees who have done. So you can simply come and stay with them and watch them. You can simply come and watch them doing book distribution. So yeah, please join us from 11 to 1 o'clock. We'll be in the Watford Town Centre. So every year, since last 3 years, we've been celebrating this initiative called Be a Gardener, where we try and really increase our appreciation both in terms of reading, studying, and distribution of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And as part of that, there is this video which BBT has put together, which I want to play. Just briefly, it's a short video, so I'm just going to, hopefully it'll work. Manish Prabhu, maybe you can, yeah, thank you so much.
Srila Prabhupada put his heart and soul into bringing the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita to the whole world. He wanted everyone to read it. So did Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, all the great Vaishnava acharyas. They relished Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and they wanted everyone to have it. We have it, and it's our duty and a great blessing and an honor to distribute Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So coming this Gaura Purnima, we have the Be a Gardener campaign.
Nice video, right? So this is a famous quote by Srila Prabhupada. He said that he wants every respectable person to have a set of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita in their home. So many of us are, from that point of view, already respectable, because I'm sure some of you have more than 1 or 2 sets. But if you don't, then this is your opportunity. You can see us. We have a beautiful table outside displaying Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, so you can come and talk to us. If you already have one and you want to give it to somebody, please take one. We have various languages available: Bengali, I can't even see it from here, Bengali, Hindi, Gujarati, English, of course, and other languages if you need. And we can also ship them in any part of the world for you also. If you wanted to gift it to someone, please let us know and we will send it on your behalf. Today you can make the donation and we will send the set of Chaitanya Charitamrita to your friends and family. And it is a good idea, as we heard in the video, Srila Prabhupada, when he, printed, and that marathon went on for, I believe it was like 1.5 months. All the 9 volumes were, written, edited, and printed. And although when they were printed, only few were coming out at a time. And there was a question asked to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, should we be distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita like this? Prabhupada said, absolutely. And I really like the point Sonakar Rishi Prabhu made today, that he said, you can learn the philosophy from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, but really how to live that philosophy in terms of the relationships, it really comes from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is like an ambrosia. You have Bhagavatam, which has garlanded with beautiful verses. And then you have this beautiful stories in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which really bring the whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness in a best possible way to all of us, actually. So today I want to request all of you that please, in some form or other, at least tell somebody about Chaitanya Charitamrita, a friend of yours, and ask them the question whether they might be interested in taking a set. And for all you know, you might be surprised, because Mahaprabhu's mood is as such that he wants to give, even if people are not ready to take. That's his mood of Mahaprabhu's. So please ask the question to a friend of yours whether you would like a Chaitanya Charitamrita set. And we are here whole day, all the way to the evening, and all the way till next Sunday when the campaign finishes. And please help us distribute 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm sure Srila Prabhupada will be very, very pleased. So that was only my request to all of you. And thank you for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this morning and for dedicating your life to Mahaprabhu and helping in expanding the Sankirtan movement all over the world. Thank you, everybody. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. So we'll see you at 11 o'clock in Watford. Hare Krishna.